Islam has a shadowy American organization called CAIR. It's so bad that even the UAE flags it as a terror organization. On the surface, CAIR, Council on American-Islamic Relations, is essentially a civil rights group. In 2007, CAIR was in a trial where it was named an unindicted co-conspirator for flowing money to Hamas. They flowed $12 million. It was the largest U.S. terror funding bust. CAIR has 35 chapters nationwide and is responsible for all of the stupid trials when it comes to hijab laws and Islamophobia. They're really the people that pushed Islamophobia. In 2023, it spent $2.5 million on political advocacy. You know all those protests that are happening in universities? A lot of them are funded by CAIR. Polls show that 65% of Americans see CAIR as advancing other countries' interest over America. But the America First crowd is for some reason quiet on CAIR and don't care about CAIR. CAIR has ties to the Muslim Brotherhood, and it's so bad that the UAE ban, even Muslims, their own people ban them. Like, can you imagine how bad they are? Repost this so people know the truth.
All right, but we're told it's Israel. Israel. We gotta focus on Israel, right? And these people, I don't see huge. You just seen the video of Irving, Texas, with all of these Muslims. I don't see Jews here in the United States putting in some new law system within the United States. But we're supposed to look at Israel. This is what Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, all of them are telling us. No. This is what we need to look at, folks.
Yeah, but let me say, CAIR is here in Maryland as well. It's been here for a long time, right? And these groups, or these lobbying groups, I would not be upset if I would say ban all lobbying groups in the sense that I know they're a collection of Americans, a lot of them, and they lobby. But why should our politicians be, hemmed up, if you will, push one way or the other by a lobbying group versus the constituents and the American people who voted them in? I know these groups, they pool their resources, but they have a lot of influence. They have more influence than the average American who actually votes. And I think that needs to stop across the board. CAIR has been dangerous for a long time. We are just getting, I guess, more and more information about it. Thank you for that clip, that guy. But CAIR has been tied to a lot of these Muslim groups for a long time. And they hide under the guise of, oh, we're just lobbying for the Islamic or the Muslim community, things like that. This is dangerous. Look at Dearborn, Michigan, other cities across the country where they have prayer or 5 times a day prayer early in the day and morning, with these prayer calls and this Islamicization, I hope I said that correctly, of American cities one by one, not to mention Zohran Mamdani. I'm going to take my time and say his name. But not to mention that. But again, it's moving. I suggest that we need to get caught up on Ayaan Hirsi Ali. We need to keep reading her and listen to what she says. She warned us about this years ago. She's still warning us, but we need to take her word. And you know what? These groups, they are not going to stop, just like Candace Owens. They're not going to stop, but we need to be better prepared and armed, literally and figuratively.
Listen, what happens is they're going to use our own laws and our freedom of speech, freedom of religion against us. This is what I was saying about what Nicki Minaj said when she was talking about faith. As a Christian person, I don't talk about faith. I talk about Christians. I talk about Christ. I talk about God, because I don't want there to be any confusion about what I mean. I understood what she was trying to say. And I get that, she's not a public speaker. I completely and totally understand what she was trying to say. But they believe they have just as much right to practice their religion in our nation as we have the right to practice in ours. That's what our Constitution says, right? Freedom to religion. She said it in her talking points. Everybody should be able to practice their religion. Well, what if the religion dictates that they kill people who don't believe in the religion? What happens when that happens? Because that's what this religion does, right? What happens when it becomes a problem that we can't solve using the existing laws that we have on the book? So the act that Chip Roy I was talking about, it's called PAUSE, right? The PAUSE, the immigration. We have to shore up our law that says, okay, peaceful, great. Coming after us, a whole nother ball of wax. You see these memes and reels all the time, and other nations are fighting back. Finally, you're finally starting to see Christians in Dearborn fight back. They had Christians in Times Square in New York City. They're trying to fight back, but we need legislation that's going to protect our way of life from the people who mean us harm. And that is not something that can wait. It needs to happen now. Governor Abbott has gone there and is taking the lead on that. But every single state in this union has to draw a hard line or we're in real trouble.
Yeah. Actually, as you mentioned, Governor Abbott yesterday dropped the hammer. He designated the Muslim Brotherhood and CAIR as foreign terrorist organizations, banning them from owning land or operating freely. So Texas GOP even passed a resolution calling CAIR a documented threat.
Absolutely.
All right. So again, while the libtards, as we call them, and the left is screaming bigotry, Abbott's just enforcing what the feds already know. CAIR is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Now, I want to say this. So the majority of Muslims, or I'll say people practicing Islam, are peaceful. I do believe that. The majority of them are peaceful. Now, with that said, I am Christian, so I don't believe in Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism. I'll even tell you, y'all might get mad at me. Catholicism, all of them. I believe in one and only the Bible believing Jesus Christ God. That is where I am. Okay. So I don't agree with, believe in any of these other religions. Okay. But I don't want to use, to wipe out all people that practice Islam, because I do know a lot of people who were on the fight with us here in Maryland, pushing back against these trans ideologies, down in PG County. That was Muslims who were standing up against the left, saying that they could not opt out their children from sexualized education and things. So, but you can't come here and try to override our law.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
That's it. So,
and I know many Muslim Americans who don't believe that. They live and breathe and work,
and they can worship however they want. Right. They can wear all the burqas they want and whatever they want.
This is what I'm saying, right? You're right. It's a huge worldwide religion. There's a billion and so other people who believe in this faith, who are practicing this faith, who are mostly peaceful. But it only took 19 of them to come for us, right? It only takes one or two. That's all it takes. And until we can eradicate that threat, be peaceful, stay in a peaceful position. But those of you who are coming for us should be met with the might of this nation, so that they know you take that crap back to the UK. We ain't got that to do here. And that is what I'm saying. I'm not saying kill everybody off. I'm not saying that. Peaceful people be peaceful, but the people who come for the smoke should get the smoke.
Well, I'm going back to the borders and the immigration. No, you cannot come here. Whether you're from Pakistan, India, Turkey, you cannot close the borders, and we can deal with the ones we have here. And if you have to go, you have to go too. Again, our Constitution, our state laws, those are the laws of a land. You can come here, you can pray to Allah, but you can't pray in the goddamn going city. I'm sorry, I didn't encourage y'all. I caught myself. You can't pray in the city, on the loudspeaker. The whole city can hear you waking people up 3 o'clock in the morning. No, you can't do that. Pray on your cloth, on your knees, in your home, in your backyard. But the loudspeakers have to go. You can't go around the town or whatever, I don't know what you want to, but cajoling people, or maybe even terrorizing them, if you will, threatening them some kind of way. No, women are in America. If you want to wear a burqa, you can choose to do that. American women, I don't know why you would, but you have that right to choose. But you cannot force that on us. CAIR, Muslim groups, no, it's not going to be forced. You can't go, you should not be able to go to a city council meeting in Texas, Michigan, Maryland, wherever, and demand that the laws be changed only to cater to your religion. No, you cannot do that. The laws apply to everyone, and those are the laws you have to abide by. And if you don't like it, take your ass back to those Arab countries where they make you do those things and they force you to do it. I'm all for it. We will ship you back. I wouldn't mind paying for that, but you cannot come here and tell me. You can tell me, but it's not going to happen. I actually stood across the country, in another country for the United States of America. And I'll be damned if you're going to tell me I have to cover my face or only wear certain things. That's not going to happen. Yeah. And I don't want to hear your hollering in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and then another 3 hours. I don't want to hear it. No, the answer is no. Go home, be shipped out, or don't come here at all.
Yeah. Well, let's go through, because some people may not know who is the Muslim Brotherhood. And so basically it's the OG Islamist powerhouse, folks. So it was founded in 1928 by Hassan al-Banna in Egypt. The Muslim Brotherhood started as a revivalist movement against British colonialism and Western corruption. This is all online in the Britannia. Okay, al-Banna wasn't messing around. He preached total Islam, Sharia law in every corner of life, from politics to personal habits. That was their motto. Okay, and so fast forward, by the 1930s to the 40s, they were arming, sending fighters to Palestine and cozying with Nazis for anti-British vibes. Post-World War II, they assassinated Egyptian PMs, got banned, then bounced back under Sadat in the 70s. In 2011, they rode the Arab Spring. Remember that? The Arab Spring. That was all over the place. The Arab Spring wave. Mohamed Morsi became Egypt's president, only to get couped in 2013 amid chaos. Now, banned as terrorists in Egypt, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Russia, and more. So globally, they've spawned offshoots like Hamas, and influenced jihadi groups worldwide. Ideology boils down to pan-Islamism. So unite Muslims, ditch secularism, impose Sharia, and liberate lands from the infidels. Okay, and this is the liberate the infidels. That's in the Quran. So folks, this is the ideological cancer behind modern Islamism. No moderate. Nothing moderate about it.
We saw that it's not moderate when the Iranian Revolution took place. Right. The Iranians before the revolution, they were some of the most educated people, at least in the Arab land. They were able to be free. The women could wear regular clothes, and you could see their faces, how beautiful they are. Now, I mean, they have to be covered basically from head to toe.
They're not allowed at night.
They're not allowed. They can't drive. Their education has gone down. You know, they were, if you will, as one of the Iranian countries before the revolution, they were some of the I would say wealthiest, if you will, on par with almost industrial nations. But now that's all gone, declined.
And so also let's talk about CAIR, because that was what we were saying, the Council on American-Islamic Relations. So who are they? They popped up back in 1994 in DC, claiming to fight anti-Muslim bias and protect civil liberties. So their official line, they're a grassroots organization with chapters nationwide, trafficking hate crimes, providing legal aid, and pushing Muslim voter turnout. That's the official line. But dig deeper, and they're rotten to the core. Okay, they were founded by folks like Nihad Awad and Omar Ahmad, both with documented Muslim Brotherhood links. Federal prosecutors in 2007 through 2008 Holy Land Foundation trial flat out said CAIR was birthed by the Muslim Brotherhood, leaders of the Muslim Brotherhood, and they conspired with other affiliates to support terrorists. That's a direct quote. They were named unindicted co-conspirators, not charged, but the feds tied them to funneling cash to Hamas and other terrorist groups. Okay, CAIR for whitewashing extremism. That's what they are.
Yes.
And then in 2023, Awad, that was the leader, said he was happy about Palestinians breaking out on October 7th. And the White House at that time, even under the Biden White House, disavowed them. Wow. So these are not good people, and it's great that Texas is banning them.
Wow. They disavowed them, but I'd like to see who all took money from them. Right. So this is what I'm talking about. If we want to look at something salacious, something that's going to break out my graham crackers and my popcorn, that's what I want to know. I want to know who took the money from CAIR and what have they not prevented in their states and in their districts, right? So when you take a look at the onset of Dearborn didn't happen overnight. Absolutely. What's happening in New York City and in the boroughs, where you see them driving old police cars, shining lights on women outside after dark, getting out, harassing folk. That shouldn't happen in the United States of America. As a woman in this country, I can go out whenever the hell I want to go out. If I want to go out 2 a.m, By the time I get home tonight, it's going to be late, right? And I'm not packing a husband with me just to go driving home. This is what Sharia law is. It is a regression of rights.
Absolutely.
It's a regression of humanness, all in the name of their false God. So when we talk about who took the money, what did they have to agree to have that money?
Yeah, well, Tucker Carlson says Sharia's not that bad.
Listen, because they have clean streets.
Yeah, he was talking about Sharia law wasn't that bad.
You know,
so we'll see.